lanes, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
boom, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's nice, it's beautiful here in sunny Detroit. It's 82 degrees. What's it like where you are, El Cid?
We are 92 degrees and humid.
So you're 10 degrees hotter than we are.
Yes, we are. But it feels like I'm swimming in water. It is humid in Georgia. We have a heat advisory.
Oh my goodness. Now we have rain coming up the next few days, and I don't know. I hope it's not like the rest of the country. And sorry, guys, that got flooded. If you were in a state that got flooded, they say that's kind of on its way to us, I think, by tomorrow. And it'll be raining for like the next couple of days.
Yeah, we're getting rain for days soon too. My thing is, it's like all this water, it's hurricane season. I'm not near hurricane.
Isn't that something? It is so strange how that can happen. It is so strange. I don't know. I do not know. But anyway, guys, welcome in. Welcome in. Let us know where you're from. Let us know what the weather is, how the weather is weathering where you're from. And what did you think, El Cid, of this week's episode?
I did like it. I would say this episode kind of like have people probably thinking about their choices, thinking about their preconceived notions.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. Anyone in particular that stood out this week? Any of the our daters?
Amber stood out for me for all the wrong reasons, and Tony did for wrong reasons. Okay. Okay.
Well, okay, now you said that, and I won't disagree with you on that. Did anyone stick out for you for the right reasons?
Yes, Harold. Our dude Harold stuck
Yes,
out.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, Harold. That's what I thought too. I was very impressed with Harold.
Yeah, Harold really stepped up. He showed he what he learned, he applied it well. I keep telling everybody, Harold, just needs that lady who will definitely understand him.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I totally agree. And funny you should mention Harold because that's exactly who we're going to start with today. So, we'll go ahead and get started with Harold. I was very impressed, though. I must say, very, very impressed with Harold. So to get us started, of course, I got to get us in the mood. We got some travel photography here. And this, you guys, in case you've forgotten or this is your first time, hello, if it's your first time, welcome in. This is Singapore. This is what some of Singapore looks like. It's very modern. Would you say, El Cid?
Yeah, the bottom part there reminds me of Valencia, Spain. You
Oh,
know, that
okay.
that bottom part right there close to Harold's picture with the kind of looks like the back of a whale kind of
Yes.
cresting. That there's a huge area in Valencia, Spain that has that and gardens around it. So that definitely reminds me of there. But it's gorgeous.
Yes, and then this such a huge metropolitan area with all these skyscrapers behind him.
Yeah, made me think of the earthquake and so glad that everything, is still standing.
Yes, yes, thank God, thank God. Now, have you ever been to Singapore, El Cid?
No, I have not. It's definitely on the list.
Ah,
But also, before Singapore, I would love to go to Sri Lanka, but that's just a personal favorite.
okay, all right, all right, all right. So, we see Harold. He's looking kind of a little bit tense after last week's date. I think it kind of almost, if you can use the expression, knocked the air out of Harold.
Yeah, it took some of his confidence away. He wasn't comfortably doing what he liked, but not in a comfortable environment doing it.
Yes. And last week the um I had her name too. Was it uh she Hoy?
Cheesy.
Okay, okay, yep, Cheesy, that's her nickname. So Cheesy last week, Cheesy basically was not attracted to Harold and did not like his sweaty palm. So, it was a turnoff. So he basically was matched with someone. And of course, the matchmaker has no way of knowing this, which is interesting that we have matchmakers. They have no way of knowing what the chemistry is going to be like between two people, et cetera, right?
Right. They have no way of knowing, but they don't, I guess they don't show pictures to the other person, so no one can guess the wrong thing.
That's true. That's true. So we see Harold here with Dolly, his matchmaker in Singapore, and she's giving Harold a tip. For example, how to connect with a date is to lightly apply contact on the lower arm. And she's showing him. He asked her, well, what does that look like? So that's why she put her hand on his lower arm very gently, and then she asked him to in return pretend like she was his date and how he would do that. How do you think he did with that, El Cid?
That was wonderful. I think she learned how to communicate with him. You can't just tell him in words. You've got to show him, and you've got to let him, apply what you're trying to teach him, so you make sure that he does get it.
Right, right, absolutely. I thought that was very good. I thought, and you know what, I'm thinking of Dolly. I think Dolly really has a heart for her clients, including Harold, and she's very patient with him. She's been very patient, and I'm happy about that. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think she's definitely learned to communicate with him, and she's kind of like, she understands. I too would not let Harold, drive to his date alone. It's kind of like a conversation to keep him calm and keep the butterflies at bay for him.
Oh yeah, I never even thought about that. Right, especially after the disastrous date he had last week. Absolutely, I agree. I agree. Um, Harold is letting her know that. Wait a minute, hold on. Is that right? I'm sorry. I jumped in. Oh yeah. So this is his date. This is his date this week with her name is Amber. We got two Ambers. We got twins this week. Singapore Amber and American Amber. And
Yep,
what
Texas Amber.
Texas Amber. What did you think of Singapore Amber with Harold?
I didn't like how production made us think that she was going to talk real bad about him, but I liked her. She seemed to be of a slower pace like Harold.
Mm-hmm.
I did like her.
Yes, yes, yes. And Dina caught it too. Nonverbal communication is key. And yes, she leads with the soft touch. Absolutely. Yeah, I do. I agree with you. And I think that Amber, like you said, was a little bit more laid back. And I don't know if they and this is what I wonder. And let me ask you what you think. I'm wondering if Dolly had a talk with Amber about, him being on the spectrum. What's
Could
your
be.
guess?
Could be. We
Mhm.
don't know if Amber isn't on the spectrum as well. We don't know.
No, that's true. I hadn't even thought of that. I hadn't even thought of that.
But
Very
maybe Holly, being a gifted matchmaker, she kind of looked and see that, okay, Harold needs someone who will be gentle with him and don't need him to be, Mr., take the lead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it. He doesn't have to grab her hand to hold her hands, and we know that Harold has the sweaty palm, so that probably wouldn't be any good anyway, right?
Right,
So
right.
yeah. So their conversation was good. She kept the conversation flowing, and what I liked about Amber this week, this date, she laughed at Harold's jokes.
She did. And I liked how she gently kind of nudged him in her
Hmm.
direction with what to eat, and I like that he was open to it. I mean, he wasn't, that's the other thing we could say about this this show, You Are What You Eat episode.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's a good title. You are
Right.
what you. Because oh yeah, so we caught her. So she suggested that he try something from their culture, her culture in Singapore, and that was what?
Pig ears,
Pig ears.
and also spicy crab something. I forgot what the other parts, but
Yes, yes,
there's a
spicy
spicy
crab.
crab. Yeah, he said
Yes,
he
it
loved
was.
crabs, and she said, "Oh, we have a signature like spicy crab." And then she said, "Well, why don't we try something else?" And she shook the ear, and she absolutely, you know, he got it. Pig ears, really?
Right. He's like, I don't know, but I'll give it a try. You know, one thing about Harold, he's a very agreeable person. Like he will try. He will really, really, really try. So I think whoever lands Harold, I think that they're gonna have a partner that will really have their back. Would you say?
Yes, he's willing to try with you. He gonna be a skeptic, but he gonna be like, okay, I would try it, but okay.
Yeah, and I didn't get the impression from Harold's face, even though he tried to disguise it. I didn't get the impression that Harold particularly liked those pig ears.
No, so that leads me to believe, Harold, you were willing to move to Singapore. What were we planning on eating?
Well, now surely they must have, and you know what? That's a really excellent point because I hadn't thought of this. But surely in Singapore they also have some restaurants and some grocery stores that carry international foods, which for him would be U.S. Right?
Yeah, but why am I moving to a foreign country just to eat the same old thing from back home?
I want a hot dog. I want a hamburger.
Oh heck no. I want to know what the locals eat. Tell me what is your street food. That's where it's at. But then I'm different. But Harold, this is part of exploring. What if your wife's special dish is pig ears? You're gonna have to eat that for the
Oh,
rest of your life.
oh, you know, I hadn't thought of that. Maybe that's why she had him to eat those pig ears. Maybe that is her specialty. That's something that she likes to get in the kitchen and fry up some pig ears.
Exactly, could be, and as a coming from a culture that does cook the pig from the rooter to the tutor,
To the tutor.
I
Yep.
I was quite impressed with her, still having it there and showing him, hey, he probably ain't tried it in the U.S., so you're gonna try it in Singapore,
You gonna try it in Singapore. And you know what? When she said they were talking about pig ears, but all I heard was pig feet.
right?
That's all I heard was pig feet in my mind. Like
or
what?
or or culturally in the Caribbean we use pigtail, as the salted meat for a lot of things.
Oh
Um,
really?
oh yeah, but pig ears, what I use it for is if I get a really good sale on pig ears, I would dehydrate them
Okay.
in my dehydrator, and it is a wonderful chewy snack for my dogs.
Ah, okay. I was wondering if you were gonna say you ate it or okay, the dogs eat it. That's funny too because Harold did say those pig ears were chewy to him.
They are. They are.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, Harold seemed to enjoy his date. He thought everything went well, and he says, you know what? I want to meet someone that I can woo and I can make them laugh and smile. And I also want to get a second date. Do you think that Harold may be getting a second date with Amber?
I think so. I think even though she said he was a little bit chunkier than she was expecting, I think
Hmm.
she still enjoyed his company. She enjoyed that he, tried the food, and Harold was not disrespectful, and he certainly liked how, demure she looked in her dress. So I think, barring anything, real wild, I think they may have a second date.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I think that so far, I like what she said. And like you're getting back to what you were saying, something you were saying earlier about production. Because last week they led us to believe that when she saw Harold, she said, "Oh, he's not what I expected. He's chunkier, he's shorter, and I don't think I'm sexually attracted to him." But then when we see what it actually continues on, and she says, "But you know what? That's okay because sexual attraction can grow."
Right. She's like, we don't need to be hot and heavy in the pants right away. It can certainly get there.
Right. Right. That is true. That is so true. So, anything else you want to add about Harold, maybe?
Hey, I'm like Harold. I would definitely try that food. I'll look at you sideways, but I definitely will, go to Singapore and try that. What I would like, for TLC to do, let people know, it could be in the bottom of the videos. Let people know what district they're in for their dates. Kind of
Mm.
give people a little guide. Because if somebody's going to Singapore, it's like, oh, this is the area they were talking about on the show, and they could go
Oh,
try the
yes.
food.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Absolutely. I think they did say in the beginning that they were going something like the eastern shore or the eastern part
Yes,
of Singapore. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Well, next up, we have our girl, Amber, Amber number one. African American Amber. And Amber is in her hotel room. She's getting ready for her second date with Kivan. And she's excited. She's like, you know what? After going on that wild, wild date with the man that had the compost toilet and the poo tea or whatever, she says, you know what? It's nice to get back to Kivan. What did you think of her? She was making up her face.
I was like, Amber, we running right back to Kivan, and we don't know enough information. I mean, I would have asked my matchmaker for a third date, a third option. In-
Oh, I never thought of that. Okay,
yeah,
yes.
I would have asked for a third option.
You would have asked for a third option. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because she really only had those two. And it's not like those are the only two men. I hope not in Dublin, Ireland.
No, because her matchmaker has mixers, so she must know quite a few, male clients. I was
Can,
like, Amber girl.
could you imagine though that maybe Amber perhaps picked at Katerina and said, "Look, I've got to go out with Van. I like him. I like him. I think I'm falling for him." She's suggesting also that Amber should find out more about his finances since that's very important to her.
Right, she should. She should. But is she?
What are some ways? I mean, what are some ways that is a way that you can get that information from a man? Because you're only on your second date. Doesn't that seem like you're kind of being digging into his private business?
Well, you want his private business to be your business, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to ask him some questions. And it doesn't have to be, I'm a very direct person. But Amber is very, she uses her feminine wiles. I sometimes just go for the jugular. And
Mm.
to gently ask him, kind of like, oh well, do hey, I drive around in Texas, I have a little Mini Cooper. What do you drive, or do you take public transportation? Oh, okay. And you could certainly kind of like
Ooh.
share your information.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I tell people all the time, if you want to get some information from your date, you have to be vulnerable and willing to share your own information, right?
Right.
Like, I wonder does he know what she does for a living? Because I still don't know what he does for a living. We know that she's a makeup artist.
We don't know anything about this man and we want a second date. Thank you, Aubrey. Why do we want a second date with him?
I don't know, because he good looking. And as we're about
Good
to
looking
find,
only goes so far till he's what? Because some people don't age like wine. They age like
no, they
milk.
don't.
How long is he gonna stay this handsome?
Maybe another 10 years. We don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Oh
guessing.
yeah, we
10
go.
years, maybe 15. Maybe 15. I think he's a nice looking man and they look good together. That's what I think. Now you guys in the chat, drop down and let us know, what do you think about this couple, this pair? Is he nice looking? Do you think he's gonna hold on? Is she gonna hold on to her looks for that matter?
Amber gonna hold on to her looks. Okay, that is never a question.
Mhm.
I have other issues with both of them. I have other issues with both of them because she keeps having to pry stuff from him. And I know the matchmaker said that, Irish men take things a little slow and steady, but Kevin is snail pace. It is like
Mm.
she's got to pull things out of him. So who's taking care of your animals? Do you have fur babies? She has to pull. He's not. voluntarily sharing stuff with her. And he made a comment in this date that I was like, dump him, Amber, dump him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting too wild about him because I need to keep my scope on her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're right though, for saying that. It is like you're pulling teeth with him. And at this point, at least on a second date, you know that she obviously likes you enough to have accepted a second date. I'm assuming he likes her. He's going on the second date. So why not start sharing? I think, a question could be too for Amber. What do you think about this if she had asked, what's a normal Monday through Friday like for you? What, walk me through that. You get up in the morning, you have your coffee or tea or whatever, you get dressed, you go to work. You know what I'm saying? And let him kind of walk her through it. Like, or is he working on the family's farm? We need to know these things.
And even if he working on the family's farm, he'll probably be like, I don't know. I just do the usual stuff on a day to day, whatever comes up. He does not give me charismatic. He gives me very handsome woman come to him, and then he don't know what to do with the woman when he got him. That's what he's giving
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, yeah. I got that too. Okay, now what gave that away for you? What made you think that?
Because she constantly has to draw him out. She constantly has to ask, and she's vibrant, and I'm seeing
Wait,
Amber, and I'm like, dude, give us something. But she has to pull out that he lives with his family, and she got to pull out all these things. And I don't know how she doesn't see that she is leading, just like the man she didn't like in the mixer.
ooh.
She is
Wait a
leading it,
minute.
Kevon.
Wait a minute. So Dina Little Hurdler is saying he's not that into her. What
He's
makes you
not.
say that? What makes you say that though? What makes you
When
say
she asked, what is your plan for 10 years? I hadn't really thought about it. And then he asked her, what is your plan? And she's like, I want a husband, I want kids, I want a family. And he's like, oh, that's cool. I'm sure that's going to work out for you. That told me you're going to find that elsewhere, not with me. I hope it work
Oh.
out for you, not work out for us. I hope
Oh
it
yeah,
works
he
out for you.
did. That was the part. He did. He did say that. He did say that. Well, you know what? I took that because he had a little sly grin on his face. Or maybe I'm a romantic like her and kind of foolish because I thought maybe he was saying that like with a little smile behind, a little grin behind it, like he was thinking that she could possibly be his one. But you don't think so?
Amber sat down and her neck was cranked to the side for the kiss since the beginning. She is looking in this man's face. She is smiling. You seen a twinkle in her eye. And until he was half a cup into the Guinness is when he finally got the message to kiss the girl. I mean, he ain't
Ooh.
that into her.
Wait a minute. What kiss? You mean this kiss?
Exactly.
The one where we saw both tongues and whatnot, and they was like they was as kissing as they say on Ready to Love. They was kissing.
Really kissing. They were sharing, bodily fluids. Okay.
Hmm.
They were drinking the Guinness out of each other's throat. That's how much kissing they were doing.
And I got okay. I'm glad you brought up the Guinness. Okay, so wait a minute. Did you catch? Because this is what I did get when they were drinking the Guinness and they had the same size glass. They started off at pretty much the same point, and she kept making comments. Oh, look, we're even. We're even, Steven. But then toward the end, when they were about to leave, um, had a little bit left in her glass, and she was like, "I gotta finish it." And he was looking at her like, "No, it's okay." I was thinking to myself, does Amber not know that men don't want a woman that can drink as much as they do? Does she not know that? Because that glass was really big. I know it's just beer, but maybe be ladylike and leave a little bit in the glass. What do you think?
I think I was looking at that sideways, but I, kind of have to forgive her because she's giving me how, at least I was raised, you got to finish what you're served. Some people in
Hmm.
some cultures, if you don't finish it, it means that you didn't appreciate or you didn't like the food. I don't know what her thoughts are or why, but it's definitely if he bought me a drink, I want to make sure I finish it. Okay.
Mm, okay, that's
So
another way of looking at it.
yeah, she may think it's not polite that he bought me a drink.
Yeah.
So.
Nola Darling says, "Yeah, beer is expensive. Drink up, heifer." I
Right.
added that last part, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought to myself, I mean, I'm talking about a little tiny bit, like maybe a quarter, 2/3 of an inch in the glass out of a huge glass. I don't know, but and maybe she likes beer. I don't.
Right. And Dinah, said Guinness is much stronger there. It definitely is.
Oh, really? You don't say. So their Guinness is it's kicked up and not just kind of like malt liquor, huh?
Exactly. It's gonna be strong. So I was more like, Amber, do you sure you want to finish that, girl? You may not be able to walk to your room. Pace yourself, girl.
Mm. Oh wow, I did not know all these cultural things because uh, Lil Hurler is letting us know. Yeah, it's considered an insult, like what you were saying. I hadn't thought of it that way. I
Yeah.
really hadn't. Okay, you guys are teaching me something. And then, did you catch this? Did you catch this? At the men that were there, they were telling. They were saying,
Yes.
"Kiss her, kiss her, kiss her, kiss her." They had a whole little chant going, and I
The
was like,
cheerleading section. That's
"The
the
cheerleaders."
cheerleading section. This is the one time you're glad you don't mind your business. But what I did like about this is culturally, we get all these things about, culturally how maybe there is, definitely racial profiling and stuff in Ireland. We've heard that before. Here we are, Kevin and Amber, and they are, public display of affection. She's got the
Mhm.
big hair. She's
Okay,
definitely a sister.
she
Yet the
definitely is.
community fellas here are
Mhm.
cheering them on.
Yeah,
So
kiss
I
her,
like
kiss her,
this.
kiss her, and they
Right.
were really into it, But
Yeah, I
now
really liked it.
now let me just pose another question for you. But now, as men, do you think that they were thinking, "Hey, he's probably gonna score tonight"?
Exactly. They were cheering him on. Like, you better get some. And if you
Let-
don't get none, then you ain't a real Irishman. That's what
right?
they're giving.
Because if you don't get none now, we don't know when you're gonna see a baddie like this back in Dublin, Ireland again. We don't
There you
know.
go. There you go. Go ahead. Kiss the young lady. Show her Irish hospitality. But
And so,
Amber got
mhm.
me mad in this date though.
Yeah, what did you think of her green screen? What did you think of that her confessional?
I was mad at her because she still did not get the answers that she
Nope.
needed. She did
Nope.
not do her homework of finding out his finances. She is kissing
Hmm.
this man, sharing bodily fluids, yet you do not have the answers as to what is his 10-year plan, what are his finances like. You still know nothing, and you are, lack of a better term, you are tonguing him down, and yet you're saying you're confused. You didn't do the homework.
Yeah, and you know what we found out about her during this day too? We found out that she says it's been quite a while since she's had any, and she says something erupted inside of her. So when she asked him to go back, walk her back or take her back to the hotel, I'm thinking, are we getting ready to see, like, the door being closed in our face? Is this really about to happen on the second date?
Well, we did say the beer was strong, didn't we? We said that.
We said that, but I
Okay.
mean,
Jamie Foxx
okay,
said it. Blame it on the alcohol.
you
I,
silly.
I am mad at Amber, and there are many different ways, as I always say on my channel. There are many different ways to the promised land. She could just, get a little bit of an eruption to take the pressure off. If
Okay,
she and Kevin wishes, they're two consenting adults.
okay.
It is their second date. Whatever. She said, let's get a little snackety snack. So we
Mm.
don't know what kind of snack Amber was talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the snack could be a snack down at the hotel bar, or the snack could be he walks her up to her room. Because I'm thinking at this point, I'm thinking he's walking her up to her room. That's all I got to say. I think
He,
I think they're gonna be grown people. They're gonna do what grown folks do.
she may want to or be open to it. I'm not sure with him.
Oh, really? You think he might be the one that says no?
Yeah, because he ain't even dressed properly for the date. Those older gentlemen, they had their jackets and stuff on. Kevin ain't got near jacket. He just got his sweater on and his shirt, and that is it. His sweater on. He ain't
Maybe.
dressed to be outside.
Well, I was gonna say, but maybe he runs hot. Like I get people tell me all the time, "Aren't you cold?" And I'm like, "No." and it may be, I don't know, I wouldn't say 40 degrees, it might be 55 or something, and I don't need a jacket.
And
I run
Amber,
hot. I run hot.
Amber needs to go to Adam and Eve and get a travel size, okay?
Mhm.
Travel
Mhm.
size adult mechanism, so she doesn't have to be erupting just from one kiss and a Guinness with this man. Yep,
Did you
thank you.
did you
Thank
get that
you.
from did you get that idea from Lil Hurler? Cause she said it too.
No, I was looking away from the screen. Yes, thank you. She should have brought her own equipment, and you can travel with that. That is an approved item. You can travel with that in your suitcase, ladies and gents. Okay, just make sure the batteries are out of it because you do not want the other passengers knowing when you pick up your suitcase what's going on in there.
Oh my gosh. You
What?
know what? You know what? You're not wrong. Because the other thing about it, I'm just thinking ahead. If something were to happen on this date or a later date, is she prepared? I mean, I know they have those prophylactics probably in Ireland, I'm sure, but you know, I'd rather have my own, bring my own. So I hope she even thought to bring that at least.
If not the matchmaker, that should be part of their package. I mean, truly.
Ooh, ooh, you
You know,
don't
part
say.
Yeah, because we see she has flowers, and we saw she has a card where she was getting ready for the date. That was a welcome. If you stopped and zoomed in, that was a welcome card. So
Oh, okay. That
I
was
hope it's
the welcome package. Okay.
yeah. I hope some condominiums were in her welcome package.
Condominiums, yes. Yes, yes, yes. She needed some condominiums. I think they're
Right.
going to need some condominiums because if they don't need them this night, I'm sure it's coming soon. I mean, like, because she's ready and he can tell. The one thing I think about men that's very interesting, when you talk about body language, I think a man knows when a lady's ready to crack, you know? You get
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
she leaning into him, and he wasn't leaning into her.
Oh, okay. So he could feel that she's ready to smash because you're right. She did keep her face the whole time at the bar. She did keep her face turned toward him. She kept giving him all those smiles. She kept laughing. You know, she's got a really tremendous mouth when she laughs. Like you can see her tonsils in the back, you know,
Yeah, she's
but
a very bubbly young lady. I really like Amber, but Amber, you have got to if you're having possibly a volcanic eruption, sometimes you have to, have things, take a little pressure off yourself so you aren't combusting with just one kiss from this man just because you're running from the compost guy, okay?
right, yeah. She's running from the compost guy for sure, for sure. Well, we're gonna slide on over to our next dater, not victim. I'm sorry. we go we go we gonna slide on over to this chickie right here. Hold on, let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm sorry, I had one more photo for you guys. Like I said, headed up to that room. It looks like to me that's Amber and K Van. But we're on this lady right now. So that is, oh wow, I don't want to call her Amber. That's Sarah. That's Sarah. My
Sarah.
bad. That's
Mm-hmm.
Sarah. Let me go fetch her info and put that on the screen. Um, Sarah, what do you make of Sarah?
Sarah is a Barbie girl living in a Barbie world. That's what
Oh,
I think of Sarah. I mean,
oh,
young lady. She knows what she wants, but I don't think she understands. I would like to know from Sarah, other than, you know, um, Filthy Rich Asian movie, why did she pick Singapore? Why?
mm. I'm wondering that too, and I meant to do some research this week, but I got really, really busy. Does Singapore have the most? Is one of those countries that has the most millionaires or billionaires, like out of all various countries in the world? Could that possibly be
I
a
don't
thing?
know. She was talking about the movie. I mean,
Well,
if
yeah,
she wanted the most rich millionaires, I would have thought it was Dubai.
yeah. But the men in Dubai, the thing about that is a couple of things. So I'm thinking most of the wealthy men that want to be married are probably already married, right? And I'm thinking number two, she can't wear what she wants to wear in Dubai. You know that, right?
Right. That is
Yeah.
correct. But she did not do any research that we have heard about Singapore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she did or didn't do. I'm gonna have to do something for real. I'm gonna have to do something this week because I want to know when we come back next Tuesday. at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to know what she knows. I want to know a little bit more about the Singapore culture because I really don't know. I have to say that. Sheila W. Hey there, welcome in. Sheila says Sarah is a sugar baby. Do you think our Sarah is a sugar baby?
I think
Elsie?
she'd like to be a sugar baby. I think she would like to be, a kept woman, somebody's kept wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
Okay.
again, she has to understand in this photo, just like Sheila W says next, hey, you have to know exactly how you're advertising yourself to these men. What type
Mm-hmm.
of wife are these men looking for? And blonde
Oh,
is something that's different. Okay. And we
okay.
know she's not a natural blonde by the eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde is something very different. And
Mm-hmm.
she has cosmetic surgery done. How
Yeah, it
does
looks
this
like. Mhm.
culture look at cosmetic surgery?
Oh, okay. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it all that thought it out that well. Well, we see Freddie. Freddie, is coming along, and this is like truly a blind date in that um he says that their matchmaker Dolly told him it'll be easy to spot Sarah because she's very blonde and she looks very American. What does she mean by that, Elsie?
She don't dress like them. She certainly didn't put on a dress like Harold's date. So yeah, blonde, and she's dressed. She got her jewelry. She's got makeup on. She's got the shoes and the khaki looking thing, and it's like, girl,
And, and
girl.
and what did you make so far at the beginning of the date when we first see Freddie? What did you make of him?
Um, I was hesitant with him. Freddie is not, he's a what you would say is, he's a nice looking dude. He's not of my type. I wouldn't, but he grew on me on this date.
Okay.
Definitely, he grew on me with this date because, the real thing that got me apart from more pronounced features, the jaw. But I don't like men with dangling earrings. That is a thing. I cannot stand a man with a dangling earring.
It's
So
tangled a little bit.
yeah, he had a little dangle. Ain't too much of a dangle, but it was still moving. And I was like, Freddie, okay, I see you. But
I
he was very nice. I liked he knew
He
his
was.
culture. He took her down the art district right here.
Yep.
Absolutely wonderful date.
Yeah, it was. He thought it through. He's also very creative, as is she is creative. He told us that he's a beatboxer, and also what was it? Something else that he did that he creates. Was it art or something
Yes,
else?
he's an artist.
He's
Yeah.
an art. Okay, go ahead.
Holly said he's a known artist in Singapore.
Ah, okay, okay. And were you at all surprised that she didn't know what a beatboxer was?
No, I think she knew. I think, this is where I'll give her some grace that, like she said, she didn't realize that's what he was talking about. And I would give her grace and like maybe the accent, maybe she didn't understand how it was said to her. But
Oh,
when he
okay.
started doing it, she's like, oh, okay, I know that. I would be just too heightened to the fact that I really don't like this man. I don't want to be on a date with him. I'm half
Hmm.
listening. So daggone it. I don't even remember what a beatbox is.
So maybe that's what it was. Maybe because she didn't seem to be very attracted to him, even though she said he's kind of cute. I'm kind of like you. I told you guys from last week. It couldn't be me going on a date with Freddie. I'm sorry, it could not be me. And I've dated Asian men before, but it could not be me with this guy. I felt.
Yeah.
I
Same
felt.
here. Yeah.
I felt like, and this is let me ask you this, Elsie. I felt like on this date as I watched him and I listened to him, and I know I'm not saying anything about his preference, his sexual preference or anything, but there were just a few little gestures and a few things that for me, my age group, and as a US citizen, I found a little feminine.
Oh no, I just put it up. He's in the art world, and I think he dances too.
Ooh.
Like more break dance or whatever. I think he does that too. So his body movements, I was like, okay, yeah, that's a little different. I see people in the whole artsy genre, they move a little different in many different things. But even if he had a you know different preference, it would be like, okay, what we doing here matchmaking with me?
Okay. Okay. Um, what did you think? So she's having this conversation with him, and she's asking him, he asked her about where she lives and if she lives alone. She tells him she has a little apartment, where she lives at in Texas. But the neat thing about it is her mother is like, 2 minutes away, right? And then she turns around and asks him the same thing. And he says, well, I live nearby. And she says, was it a house or is it an apartment or what? He said, well, it's a HDB flat. And he explains to her that many people in Singapore live in these government subsidized flats. When he started saying government subsidized, I was like, oh no. Oh no, she is not gonna like that.
She was like, okay. That's exactly how she's like, okay. And then she told, how can we be intimate together, with his mother living there? How does that, bode for our quality time? And I was like, girl, people do it all the time. But she didn't listen to him. Again, she didn't listen. He said, culturally, they live with their parents until it is time for them to move out and start their own family.
Hmm.
She didn't listen.
Well,
But
no,
again, Sarah,
she's
what did we learn about Singapore before we got there?
right. Now that part is giving me 90 Day Fiance vibes. Like we got all these American citizens that will go over to all parts of the world and not do any basic research, not even go on the Googler real quick for 10 minutes and go down do a deep dive with the AI and the chat. What is that chat? What? GPT? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Chat GPT. But
Yeah,
you see, when we
something.
again, and as Sheila W says, but in a government subsidized, again, it is based on most people in their culture live where the government subsidizes.
Mm.
Again, I don't think he is broke. I don't think he is.
I don't know, but that's government subsidized. When I hear government subsidized, and I'm looking at her, not talking about just for me or anybody else, but looking at her and what she's saying, what she keeps telling us. I need a man that can afford me. I need a man that's ready now to buy a house and pay the
Right.
bills and have children. And I just don't see that with somebody. She's basically saying, I don't see that with somebody that's still living at home with their mom. I don't care what the culture does. I want a man that lives on his own. She said a very good point now. She said a very good point. What if I wanted to come back to his pad if things should work out? We can't do nothing. Mama right in the next room. What they gonna do?
Well, again, culturally, you need to ask what does frolicking and fornication look like in their culture?
Mm.
How do they get to know each other in a physical level? You
Oh.
know, considering that the family's at the house. I mean, that's a question.
Mm-mm.
But again, I think I see this differently. In
How so?
a lot of foreign countries, there is what it would be government subsidized, meaning you like I'm in Atlanta. The government may have a woman of my age is entitled to X amount of dollars that they would subsidize housing if I wanted to live in the city of Atlanta. It's not,
Hmm.
it's a way to stabilize rental prices and make sure your people aren't forced out of certain areas. So while it is government subsidized, it's also a way for the government is pitching in to make sure their people aren't squeezed out. I know we may see it as like a form of Section 8, we may see it as a form of welfare, but that is a yes, it is, but the way it's being used in places like Singapore, it is to make sure that their people are not pushed out by people who are, using, trying to elevate the prices.
I think our little hurler is agreeing with what you're saying about that. And I guess we got to consider though too, in a lot of places in the world that are popular cities that are busy working, where everybody, like for example, London, there's probably a lot around the world where they have to be subsidized as what you're saying, right?
Right, and it's only for their citizens, and the citizens again have to work. They have to have a certain amount of income, But again, he and his mother are going to choose to be in a certain location. He's choosing to be. I would certainly ask, yes, it is a form of socialism, Sheila W. I would
Mm.
certainly ask, you know, I don't see Holly as taking on clients that are,
Broke,
bums.
broke. Yeah, yeah, right.
Right. I don't see these matchmakers as, none of the men in the previous season were bums. I would more want to know with him, he's an artist, there are ebbs and flows. How does he manage his money in ebbs
Ah,
and flows? That's where I would
oh.
want to know.
Hmm.
Is his mother working, or is he supporting the rest of what the government isn't subsidizing? Is his mother retired? You see, there's certain things you can ask around it to kind of find
Yes,
out what his finances
yes.
are.
I get your point because the question as to whether his mother is retired or not is one of them that will help kind of figure out, is he paying the difference that the government, the unsubsidized portion. I love what you said about the ebbs and flow of artists. Their money can be up here one day, 2 months later, it's kind of dribbled down a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah,
I like
because
what you're
I
saying.
was looking at him, and he ain't no slouch in that, his shirt alone, in comparison to the people that were walking around them on their date. He
Hmm.
has a certain elevated look. It isn't overstated, but he has a certain, that sweater right there with the stripes and stuff. It is. He is no. He's not a starving artist. But I need to know that money. I need to know what's in the bank account today. Do you have to wait?
Mm.
How many paintings, if it's painting, how many paintings do you sell,
Ooh.
to sustain your lifestyle?
Oh, that's a good one too. Like even her asking, like if I were interested in buying, some of your art, what's the starting point and what's the high point? Just kind of
Right.
like you say, there are ways to get to kind of get some information out of someone that goes to income without straight out asking them how much you earned this last year. How much did you earn? What's on
Yeah.
your taxes? You could be a little more subtle about it, just a
Girl,
little bit.
that'll be me. What is your what is your tax? What's your tax group? What percentage? What?
There you go. There you go. See there, you're always thinking. You and my girl Dina are always thinking. In NYC, there is Section 8, but also ways to buy housing based on income. I agree. They are not what we call hobosexuals. You guys got that right. I said hobosexual. Okay.
Right. He is not couch surfing. And again, culturally, as we learn with the same thing with Kivon. Kivon, who is the Irish man that we just saw Amber with, he is also living with his family, but it is a family run farm. So again, is he living in the same big house, or is there properties around on the farm that, you can have your separate life there? Again, it's just cultures, we see things differently. Now, if he living in Section 8 housing in the US with his mama, no,
Yeah,
not happening.
that's a definite no. Red flag on the play. You don't need to be dating. You don't need to be dating if you're living with your mom in Section 8. You don't need to be dating. I'm
But
sorry.
he was quite gentle in how he told us that, yeah, I live with my mom, and he saw it and he clocked it and he said, "Hey, this is how culturally
Hmm.
we
He
live.
did. He did.
This is normal."
We all kind of clocked that her smile went from a smile to a frowny face. Now, I want to ask you something. What do you think about to go to Africa's comment that's on the stage?
It's difficult to compare Singapore with most countries because it is a city state. It is going to be difficult to compare them, but I kind of looked at them with another socialist society. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, I understand. I kind of looked at them. The Philippines has the same kind of, subsidy with housing that all their citizens are entitled to. And it also could be, based on your, work and what work field or whatever as well, that you could certainly. But I like the thought that the government is making sure that their people are not displaced
Hmm.
because they cannot afford whatever the real estate market is calling for.
Hmm. Well, all that being said and done, our girl Sarah said, "You know what? It's time for me to get my beauty rest," because she was about done once he said
We
that.
ain't talking about the
So,
food.
huh? Oh, we're gonna talk about the food. Okay, talk about the food. Go ahead.
I love it. He gave her. Well,
Oh,
y'all.
that froggy soup, girl. Yeah, talk about that for a minute.
Oh, Freddie, this is the one other part of the date I would like, the tour and the food. I love frog legs from Canada when it was real easy for us to go across that border. I love what they call mountain chicken in Canada. Absolutely love it. So this food he gave, got her the kind of like frog soup is the whole frog, and he's like, that's the only other part. He's like, you gotta suck it off the bone.
When
But
he said that, I was like, she's like, I will not be doing any sucking tonight.
of any bones.
Fell off the couch when she said that part.
Right. Of any bones, mister. You just
There
took
will,
me through the red light district and now you want me to suck at some bones? No.
there will be no bone sucking. Trust and believe that. She said, you jive turkey, you. I mean,
But
she's
they put the whole frog in there. And I was like, that is fascinating. And that was, I was like, I would certainly love to try that meal.
how many up there in our chat, if you're watching us on replay, drop down in the comments and let me know if you've had frog soup, frog legs, frog ears, frog whatever, because I don't think I've ever had frog. I just don't think I have, and I'm not saying I wouldn't try it, but I'm like her when she said she saw the whole body. That would have been too much for me, because like I think of our food like when people have something like if chicken, you may have a chicken salad, you take the chicken and you cut it up, you don't put the you know what. Well, anyway,
Well, it sounds like my grandmother because, my grandmother will eat chicken, but she refuses to eat Cornish hens because she thinks those are pigeons.
I love Cornish hen. Oh,
I do too.
I
I
love
really
Cornish
love
hen.
it. When I used to cook chicken, everybody would have their own hen. My grandmother refused. She thought it was pigeon. That again, is different ways of thinking.
Sheila, are you in Texas by any chance or Louisiana? You say
Oh,
Papados.
well,
Okay.
we have a papados. We have three papados in
Oh,
Atlanta.
okay. You have okay. Because I only know of Papados in Texas, and I thought maybe they might have branched out, but they're in Georgia now too. Okay. Where are they originally from? Do you know their base?
I
Because I
would
thought
have thought New Orleans, but I could be wrong.
it could be. That's why I said. Look, I was thinking that Louisiana. I know they had a lot of them in Houston the last time I was there, and everybody was talking about them. But mm, let's see. Okay. It's nothing like the other Asian countries. The people appear to be well educated, sophisticated, and refined. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So you would eat the frog. What he was offering her, you would have eaten that, LC. I take it.
Oh heck yeah! You see, there are certain things. Even though I would have eaten it or whatever, you would have had to excuse me because it's not something cute to eat on camera like ribs. You can't really eat ribs on a first date, really cutesy.
No, no.
So I would just tell him, that would be that shouldn't be the main dish. Like how like how Harold had the pig ears as a side, and he had the main thing was the crab, the spicy crab. Yeah, maybe made that a little appetizer to try it and not be the main dish.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think, I mean, it could have been New Orleans, but I thought it was a Texas thing. 'Cause talking about years and years ago before I heard of it being anywhere else. It was already in Texas. But yeah, okay. So I got some
Thank you,
agreement on
Sheila.
that. Thank you for that info. Thank you. So I digress. We get to our last dater of this episode, and that. Oh wait. I'm sorry. Oh no, I gotta take you guys off of that. I gotta show you. This is what. Okay, maybe it's just me. This is Freddie saying goodbye. Now, is it just me? I don't know. To me, the pose, the hand wave, um, and I will say this about Freddie. You could see it on his face. He was clearly disappointed that she didn't seem to be into him because I think he did seem to like her. What did you think about their goodbye?
Um, you know, I mean, his hand is just on his hip. His hip isn't, but I could see what you're trying to say. I could definitely see it. I think he is disappointed. I think he knows that ain't no second date happening. She wasn't thrilled about the food. She wasn't thrilled about him. Um, so I think he was disappointed because he did like her. He said the moment he saw her, he was kind of tongue tied and he, had to remember how to speak. So yeah, he looked disappointed. It's like, okay, bye. I got a good meal out of it. I had a great conversation, and I got to go home to my mom. So Yeah, I can see what you're trying to say, and Sheila W agrees with you.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying, like I said, I said it up at the top, guys. I'm not saying anything about his sexual preference. I'm merely saying, for me, he could be straight. He probably is. I think he is. But I would find, for me, being from the generation that I'm from and my outlook and perspective on things, he would have been a little bit too feminine for me to be into him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that
A little too soft around the edges.
too, yes, too soft around the edges, if you will. So now we can move on to our last one. And I know you got some words for Brother Tony.
Mr. Chat GP Tony.
Yeah. Because we find out now. This is him here. This is an actual real photograph. Okay, but now this is what he looks like in his profiles. You see that? You see this?
And he does know it. He said he uses the images to make him look taller, more successful, and richer. But like a Ferrari, it's the pictures is different from when you take it up in the showroom. So he knows what he's doing. Yes, thank you, Catfish Tony. And I do have a short that I posted on my channel that I asked, is he catfishing these women?
You know what he's talking about. And then here's the killer part. He makes it seem like the women that have their makeup and we have all these different things, of course, to impress and to look, prettier or whatever. He makes it seem like those two things are equivalent, but he uses, I forget the term he used, but he used a different term than he used for the women, almost like it's some kind of trickery. But what he's doing is not trickery, but they're the same thing.
Right. He said they could do the makeup and all, use all these filters, but I can't use these for enhancements. I mean, sir, this is not an enhancement. This is a completely different man. It's the difference between you and Mr. Clean. It is a completely different man.
Yeah. I like what Nola Darling says. He seems to have low self-esteem. I think so too. I left that. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me go back. So when they were talking about his
Mm-hmm.
about his scalp, and he says
Mm-hmm.
he asked the producer, he kind of breaks the fourth wall, and he says, well, can you see where my hair is, will be growing? And they said, oh yeah, we absolutely can.
From
And
this
then
angle, does the
yeah,
camera pick up my hairline?
right. Does it pick up my hairline? And they say, oh yeah, it absolutely, we see it. And he says, yeah, because I pay good money to go and have basically like I guess micro tattoos to make it look like what do you call it? Hair follicles all over his head.
Yes, that means he way out there. I wonder, did he do the whole head or did he just do the front? Does he have to keep on doing it as the hair continues to recede? I have questions, Tony. Is the whole head micro tattoo to make it seem like you have a hairline?
I don't know, but I'm going to say this. I'm not mad at him about that. I think, if he wants to look good in that way, I don't think that's I don't know. I don't guess it's false advertising, but because I will say this, I have a girlfriend who, because of alopecia, she has done the same thing in parts of her hairline so that it doesn't look just completely bald. She has done the same exact thing. So I don't, I know different people, like, some men bald early and some men don't like being bald. But I think he's a little bit shamed of his balding. He has low self-esteem as it comes to that.
Well, he said that because he said he was teased in school. He was the poorest kid in the richest school. So I think he's still trying to measure up to the people around him.
Yes.
So I
He,
think, and he has these different, he has do you have a picture of,
Wait a minute.
okay,
Okay, I got. Okay, hold on, because I had that. We did that. This is what he saying he looks like, and then no, what I took, I don't. I was running out of space. So okay, this is what I have here, and I got to take this comment off the stage. This is his ideal of a Brazilian woman. He says they all look just like this.
he wants a
You
lady
guys,
with curves. A healthy
he wants
woman has an hourglass figure.
hourglass figure, and they have long hair. Don't forget, they got to have long hair.
Yes, and the long hair is a testament that they take time with their appearance and they care about their appearance. So long hair is a must. This coming from the bald man who had to tattoo hair on his head. He want long hair. Boy,
Hmm.
bye. I was like, take me out now.
preferences. He likes long hair. I like men with curly hair. Now, what's wrong with having everybody has preferences.
It's okay to have a preference, but has he looked in the mirror? You are not your own preference, sir. Golly.
I said
Do
LeBron
you
James.
have an
You
hourglass figure,
killed that.
sir? He's
I'm
got a
sorry.
keg figure. I wanted to know if you had that with the belly he doing, trying to tell us that he doing exercise on a regular, and when he bent over doing push-ups, the belly is hanging. I'm sorry, I don't usually talk. I don't usually talk about people's figure and all that stuff, but because he is catfishing these women with this slender male look, with the tapered triangle look from the shoulders to the waist, that's why I'm talking about Tony's look. I don't talk about people's look, but Tony, you gonna get it from me.
Mm. See, I just let you go. I just let you go.
I'm
Nola
sorry.
Darling says there. No, that's fine. I enjoy it. I enjoy the little mini rants. Nola Darling says there's something deeper. Does he like anything about himself? I
No,
don't
he don't.
think so. I don't think so. I
He
don't think so.
doesn't.
And here's another thing I think where he's a part where he's delusional. To your point about the belly when he was doing the push-ups and whatnot, here's the thing, and even when he was jumping rope, I can tell as a person who used to be into the gym and exercise and all this type of stuff, I can tell that this is not something that he normally does. This was to me more for production or more to kind of get in that mood. But so for me, there's kind of a disconnect, right? There's kind of a disconnect about how well he takes care of himself, and yet he wants a woman that takes, this top notch, top tier, top shelf, uh the way she takes care of herself. And then the other thing is he going to be able to pay for any of that? Because I'm almost thinking we should match him up with Sarah.
Will he be able to? He ain't got to look for Sarah, but will he be able to pay for that? But will he understand the time it takes for her to take care of all that hair going down to her buttocks? Means she does not have the time to take care of you. I mean, really, what happens if she, y'all get together and she has a baby and she's like, all this long hair and taking care of this baby ain't gonna cut it, and she decides to cut her hair? Is he then not gonna be attracted to his wife? Is that in his prenup that you have to keep your long hair? What is going on with Tony?
Sheila W says, well, extensions and silicone are a must. He's a weirdo. Yeah, that part right there. So let's see, what else do we have on Tony? That was my cat. I his name was Tony, but I always pronounced it Tony. So he meets up with his matchmaker. How do you I say it? Louisa?
Yes.
Yeah, Louisa. He meets up with her, and I'm thinking to myself, man, you better watch how you hug him, how tight you hug old Tony right here, because Louisa is a beautiful woman, but I think all the matchmakers, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're all married, right? So they sit down and they have this conversation about what he's looking for, and everything he's talking about is so totally superficial. What did you think?
Exactly. He's not talking about anything that's going to be like other than appearance. Other than appearance. And I'm like, dude, what do you want your wife to basically, is she going to be a nurturing woman? Does she have to like kids? Basically, can she have kids? He's not talking about any character levels of any kind. And I'm like, why are we here in Brazil? Why are we here? Because
He said,
he and Monica kind of like almost on the same level for me. They're looking for pretty people.
"Oh yeah, Monica, that's right, that's right. She wants a guy that's got the body, got the hot Brazilian look. Does that fall close or near to fetishizing a particular culture or particular country for their people? Is that anywhere close to a fetish?
He's two steps above. He hasn't sunk low in his language about fetish, because he does say, oh, he likes a voluptuous woman. He likes curves. He has the proper language to not be totally offensive. But I'm just waiting on Tony to say something that's going to offend the population. But yeah,
Right.
I'm just thinking he's just acting right for the camera. But in his real just relaxed state, he may say some stuff that's really pretty offensive.
That's what I. He does kind of remind me of a modern day Archie Bunker. He does. He really, really does. There's something very
But look at his
archetype.
apartment. Look at his apartment.
What
What
did you
about that screams quality?
Nothing.
Okay, okay. He wants the ladies to think he's a Ferrari when he's a Ford, and he's not
Oh,
happy being a Ford. There's nothing
oh,
wrong with Ford.
oh, look at Sheila. She says he needs a Jasmine from 90 Day Fiance to wake him up. The Gino, the Gino finally wake. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what he needs. He needs somebody that's all in his pockets, getting all of his money to get those extensions added to their hair because they only have, shoulder length hair, but he wants it to be down to their waist. He needs all of that. That's a very good point.
No
That's a
offense, no offense, Nola. I have a Ford too. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, I know that's right. I live in Detroit, so to me the big three still rule, okay?
Right? Right?
Yeah, I think I'm about to step up to a Lincoln myself. Oh my goodness, but yes. Hey chat. Hey Tuber chat, good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. Um, oh, now that part. Ooh, to go to Africa. She says, you know what? You see what she says on the screen. I ain't gonna even say the word. You
Well,
get it.
if he is, I wouldn't be going to Brazil. That's for sure. But he could be. He could still be, but still wants a Brazilian woman. He could still be.
Thank you, Tuber Chat. Thank you. I keep forgetting to do that myself. We're gonna have to talk soon, okay? Thank you for that. He said he shared it on Reddit. Um, what
He's not a Ford. He's a get out and push.
oh, he's the Pinto. Yeah, that's what I thought she was saying. Pinto. Remember the Pintos they used to break
Hey,
down like all the time. They were little
he's
tiny
my
cars. He's a
he's my
Pinto.
old Toyota Tercel hatchback, the first car I ever had.
He's a get out and push. Okay. To wrap these things up, any more comments about Tony L said? And what
To-
how you think how do you think his experience is going to go in Brazil?
Tony pissed me off a little too much. He did say that, the matchmaker Luis's hair is still too short for him. He does say that. I want to know why Brazil though. There are voluptuous women everywhere. Why Brazil?
Now I'm gonna say this now. In my opinion, because there are beautiful women everywhere, and I can think of some places like India, I can think of Somalia, Egypt, where there are absolutely beautiful people and women in those places. I think, but Brazil, I think because in my estimation, it's just what I kind of picture and what I kind of think. I think because in Brazil. There's the whole thing about the BBL. There's a thing about women being
Hmm.
naturally voluptuous. Those not saying everybody has a BBL in Brazil. I'm not saying that, but I think that he wants a woman that is curvy. And my thought is that he is just a standard white guy who likes an exotic woman. No different from a black man who doesn't like black women, but he likes an exotic white or Hispanic woman, Latina. Same thing. Same
He's
thing.
giving me passport, bro. That's what he's
Passport bro.
giving me.
There you go. The passport bro.
He's
Now,
giving me passport, bro, but he's trying to clean it up by having a matchmaker. I'm sorry,
mm,
Tony. That's how I see you. That's how you come off. You are not attractive. You are not the Lamborghini to the women of the US. So now you got to go internationally and see if they would like you because of your hue. Okay?
mhm,
Is giving me a passport, bro, but trying to clean it up. Like his language trying to clean it up and not sound like he's fetishizing these Brazilian women.
mhm,
The
mhm.
matchmakers to give him a sense of, legitimacy, if you will.
And I think up here, I'm gonna go back to this. I think that to go to Africa has it exactly right. I think that's part of what it is. He wants a Caucasian looking woman with the African woman's body. I do believe that. I agree. I agree. He may not be. We're gonna find out more as we go along next week. We're gonna find out more about what's going on. We don't even have time, I don't think, because we got another podcast. Guys, do you want to join us? Come over to what is it? Just Rhonda
Just Ronda 01.
01. Come over. We're going to be live in about 15, 20 minutes. We're going to be live doing what is it? King's Court?
Yeah, King's Court.
Okay. Well, real quick, we got a few minutes. Tell the people what you got going on your channel.
So I am Elsid932 here on YouTube. And I also have my TikTok and I'm on Instagram. Those are in my description. And I'm here doing Match Me Abroad with actually Aubrey. Tomorrow I'm doing King's Court on my channel here, episode 2. Friday we're having a party. We're having Elsit
Yeah.
Unscripted. I already posted it. I have
Okay.
just earned monetization in YouTube. So we're having a little party, and the folks want, we love talking about music on Fridays at 5 o'clock. So we're going to talk about the top songs of the 60s, 70s, and some of the 80s. And we're going to, talk about, did Billboard get it right, wrong, or are we indifferent? But it'll just be a party, okay?
Oh, that's gonna
Yes,
be
it's
so
trash,
nice.
Sheila. We're going to talk about all the trash and mess.
We're gonna talk about
Unfortunately,
it. Go ahead.
unfortunately, I will not be able to join y'all this evening. Rhonda does know. So I'll be doing it
Oh,
on
okay.
my channel tomorrow.
Okay.
King's
Okay.
Court.
All right
Then
then.
I do Alone, which is a survival show that is usually released on Saturday mornings by 10 a.m. I have put unsolicited advice on a hiatus, so all the wonderful new subscribers can catch up. There are 30 episodes. We have good kikis because I'm preparing for Project Runway is back on July 31st, so we will talk about that on the
Ooh.
Saturday after. Plus, we have Love is Blind is coming up in August. So I've tapered back unsolicited advice just to give myself some breathing room here to prepare for all the new stuff. So definitely we are moving and shaking, and we're going to be moving and shaking on Friday about the 60s, 70s, and 80s music, okay? To celebrate the monetization. We will continue to grow on LCID 932.
Oh yes, amen. And well, while we're talking about growth, and congratulations again, Elsie. That is
Thank
so awesome.
you.
While we're talking about growth, though, guys, help me out. Share the video, like the video, subscribe. I am less than 100 subscribers away from the 3K mark. Okay, so be sure to tell a friend, and if you got that bootleg YouTube account, make sure you subscribe from that one too, okay? And then that way, if you want to chat and say something crazy, not too crazy, but a little crazy, nobody really knows who you are.
I don't care.
And no, I'm not telling you my throwaway YouTube account name. No, I don't care how much you beg and plead with me. I will not. I will not. But guys, we're gonna shimmy and shake on out of here. We thank you so much for being being a part of your Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. We are so grateful to have you guys here. And once again, congratulations, El Cid. You did a wonderful job. And hand claps, hand claps from the Real. Thank you, Real. And with that said, we're gonna shimmy and shake on out of here.
Thank you all.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Bye, bye, guys.
Bye.